Thank you for purchasing the Janome Memory Craft 9700 sewing machine. This is Janome's latest computerized embroidery sewing machine featuring Janome's patented built-in embroidery carriage, ATA PC card compatibility, and a 4096 color high-quality LCD touch panel, to name just a few of the amazing features. Use your ATA PC card to transfer and save designs from various sources via your personal computer. Edit and combine them to create designs with your own personal touch. We're certain that you'll be glad you chose a Janome and that it will give you many years of creative pleasure. Let's now take a look at the operating instructions. Chapter 1. Before you sew. Getting to know your machine will enhance your sewing experience. In Chapter 1, let's begin by setting up your machine. Connecting the power. This product is equipped with a worldwide auto voltage power system that operates on a range from 100 to 240 volts, enabling the machine to be used anywhere in the world. Before connecting the machine to the power supply, be sure to turn the power switch off. Connect the power supply and foot control cables to the machine and insert the plug into the power outlet, then turn the power switch on. Essential parts of your machine. Spool pin holds spools of thread to feed thread to the machine. Bobbin winder spindle, a holder for bobbins when winding. Thread cutter, conveniently located for ease of use. Hook cover plate, removed to insert bobbins. Needle threader, push down to set the position for automatically threading the needle. Thread take-up lever for fastening needle thread. Turn the hand wheel to control the needle bar and thread take-up lever. Function buttons and speed control slider. The four major function buttons and speed control slider are conveniently grouped together for easy access while sewing. Press the Start-Stop button to start or stop the machine. Red indicates that the machine is running, and green that it is stopped. For ordinary sewing, the Start-Stop button cannot be used when the foot control is connected. When pattern numbers 1, 2, 6, or 7 has been selected, press the reverse button and the machine will sew in reverse. Press the Auto Lock button at the end of a line of seam and the machine will immediately lock the stitch off and stop automatically. For pattern numbers other than 1, 2, 6, and 7, pressing the reverse button will result in the machine locking the stitch in place and stopping immediately. In the case of the Auto Lock button, the machine will sew to the end of the pattern being sewn, then lock the stitch off and stop automatically. Press this button to raise or lower the needle. This sets the maximum sewing speed for ordinary sewing. Slide the lever to the right to increase the speed or to the left to decrease the speed. During embroidery sewing, the sewing speed is automatically controlled regardless of the position of the speed control slider. Winding the bobbin. Before beginning to sew, it is necessary to wind and set a bobbin as well as thread the machine. For ordinary sewing, you can use an upper thread as a bobbin thread. Lightweight bobbin thread is required for optimum thread tension for embroidery sewing. We recommend janome bobbin threads as they are specifically manufactured to meet the needs of janome embroidery machine. To wind the bobbin, first open the top cover and lift up the spool pin. Place a spool of thread on it with the thread coming off the spool as demonstrated. Attach the spool holder to hold the spool firmly in place. 2 spool holders are included as standard accessories. The larger holder is used with ordinary spools and the small holder for small spools. If you need to wind a bobbin while sewing, use the additional spool pin so you don't need to unthread the machine to wind the bobbin. Insert the additional spool pin into the spool holder and the opening on the machine, then place the felt and spool of thread on it. Hold the thread and slip it through the slit in the thread guide. Draw the thread around and to the back of the thread guide, following the dashed arrow on the guide plate. Insert the end of the thread through the hole in the bobbin from the inside. Put the bobbin on the bobbin winder spindle and push it to the right. The visual touch screen will indicate that the machine is in bobbin winding mode. Holding the free end of the thread in place with your hand, push down on the foot control or press the Start/Stop button. Stop the machine when the bobbin has made several turns and trim the thread close to the bobbin. Push the foot control down or press the Start/Stop button again. When the bobbin is fully wound, it will stop automatically. Release the foot control or press the Start/Stop button to stop the motor running. Return the bobbin winder spindle to the left and remove the bobbin. Cut the thread with the thread cutter on the machine. Place the bobbin in the bobbin holder so that the thread unwinds counterclockwise. Draw out the thread and slip it into the notch on the front. Gently pull the thread to the left through the tension spring blades until the thread slips into the notch on the side. Draw the free end of the thread to the back, leaving a 6-inch tail. Reattach the hook cover plate. For your convenience, a threading diagram is shown on the hook cover plate. Threading the machine. Place a spool of thread on the spool pin and fix it firmly in place with the spool holder. Raise the presser foot and press the up-down needle button twice to raise the needle to its highest position. Each threading point is clearly marked with a number indicating its order in the threading sequence. Hold the thread and slip it down into the slit marked number 1. Then thread the machine following the numbers until number 5. Then slip the thread around the hook on the left to the needle bar. The built-in needle threader. Push the needle threader down as far as it will go. A hook will come out through the needle eye from behind. Draw the thread down around the threader guide and under the hook. Release the threader slowly while holding the end of the thread with your hand. Raise the presser foot lifter. Draw the thread under the presser foot and hold it with your finger. To draw up the bobbin thread, press the up-down needle button twice. While holding the end of the needle thread, pull the needle thread to lift up a loop of the bobbin thread. Pass the needle thread through the split in the foot and draw it together with the bobbin thread to the back of the machine, leaving a 6-inch free thread. Adjusting the thread tension. The Memory Craft 9700 contains an automatic tension system. However, depending on the fabric and/or type of thread, the tension should be adjusted manually. You can adjust the thread tension by turning the tension dial. If the thread tension is adjusted properly, the needle and bobbin thread meet in the middle of the fabric. If the bobbin thread shows on the right side of the fabric, reduce the tension by turning the tension dial to a lower number. If the needle thread forms loops and the stitches look shaggy on the wrong side, increase the tension by turning the dial to a higher number. Chapter 2. Mode Selection Keys. There are 5 mode selection keys on the right of the visual touchscreen: the ordinary sewing mode key, embroidery mode key, open file key, my setting key, and the help key. The ordinary sewing mode key. Select the ordinary sewing mode for over 100 utility and decorative stitches, as well as for block monogramming. The embroidery mode key. In this mode, you can sew embroidery designs from various sources. The Open File key. This key allows you to access the programmed pattern combinations in the ordinary sewing mode or embroidery designs saved in the embroidery mode. My Setting key. Press the My Setting key. This allows you to customize the machine's settings, including screen contrast, sewing light options, and other settings to suit your preferences. Let's take a look at how to change the settings. Screen contrast, sound control, eco mode. In the eco mode, the screen will go dark and the sewing light will turn off. When you touch the screen, the last displayed screen will be shown and the light will turn on. By pressing the plus or minus keys, the timer can be set for between 1 and 30 minutes. Inch/millimeter settings. Let's proceed to the next page by pressing the Next Page key. Key Position Adjustment. By pressing this key, you can calibrate the touchscreen. Free arm length. This is a unique function allowing you to use the full length of the free arm. The carriage returns to its original position when you press the key again.